Hi, my name is Apoorv, and today I'll be talking about workflows in legality. This video is divided into three parts. The first part covers what are workflows and why you need them. The second part is about how to create a workflow. And the third part covers various ways to run a workflow. So now jumping into the first part of the video, whenever you create a new signing journey in legality, we offer you a variety of customization options. So you have things like choosing from a variety of signature types, toggling on and off, geolocation capture, face capture. You can drop in custom sign coordinates. You can choose from a variety of custom templates. You can attach a stamp series. The list of options is quite long, but you see where I'm going with this, right? While this level of customizability is great, setting these configurations each time you have to initiate a signing journey can be tedious. So to solve for this, we developed something called workflows. Through workflows, you save your desired settings in a system just once. And later you can pass a document as many number of times without having to manually choose and set these settings every time a document is sent out for signing. There are many advantages of using workflows. The first and the most obvious one is that it saves you time. So now you don't need to manually define configurations for every document each time it's sent out. The second advantage why it saves you time is that you can now batch process documents. And this is something I'll be covering in more detail later on in the video. The other advantage is that it allows for greater control. So now if you create a workflow with some settings, you can be assured that whoever later runs this workflow will use the same exact settings as you had initially defined. In some ways, workflows is a very critical evolution of a signing platform as it opens up a radically new way to sign documents. Moving to the second part of the video, which covers how to create a workflow. To create a workflow, the first step is to log into your legality dashboard. Here I'm already logged in. After this, I go to the left side panel and click on workflow. This takes me to a page where I can see all my existing workflows. But today I'm going to create a new workflow. So I click on this button and I assign my workflow name. Let's call it test 123 today. And now I'm taken to a page where I can select whether I want to use a PDF document or a template as the base for my workflow. To note here is that you should use a document that you know you will be signing repeatedly. My organization uses a service agreement. And you see I've already created a template of the service agreement here. So I'm going to pick that. But along with it, I also use a stamp paper with it. So here I go and click on use stamp, and after this I can select my stamp series. So let's say I want to use this stamp series. So now I click next. This shows me a preview of the template document, which looks good. And I can also see the variable template fields here. So these are the fields which will be filled each time this template is sent out for execution. Everything looks good, so I click on next. And here I'm taken to a page where I can set the invitees of the document, that is the signers of the document. So I can add as many as I want. So if your document has, let's suppose 5 signatories, you sign 5 here, you select 5 here. But I don't have 5. So today I'm going to only keep 2 invitees here. And as you can see, the invitee names have been grayed out. This is because right now I'm creating a workflow. In some ways, I'm only creating a skeleton. I'll later on be passing these names and email addresses to this workflow. I know what you're asking right now. What if your organization has to sign a document each time? Well, that's possible to do as well. To do that, you click on configure invitee over here. And now you can change the invitee. So let's suppose I'll keep the first person empty, but I want the second signatory to be me. So I'm just going to set that. Now you can see there are a variety of options available here. So let me take you through them very quickly. So the first is signature type. Let's suppose I want my invitee to do an Aadhaar sign through using the OTP. I do that. I don't want them to do a virtual sign. In fact, I want my own organization to do a virtual sign. So I select that here. You can see that there is a button called more options. So for each invitee, I can set some define some options. So here I have a bunch of custom contracting and authentication options. So let's suppose I want to attach a custom consent to it. So is custom consent. So you can define your custom consent with each time when it goes out for signing. You can send them an email notification. You can set some advanced authentication options. So let's suppose I want to capture the GPS location and the photo of the person who's signing the document. So you can see I have a bunch of customization options. I won't go into them in more detail, but there's a lot of flexibility available here. So I click save. I can also set some advanced options here, which cover the journey wide settings. So if I show them to you, I can set these. So let's suppose I want to send a message to all of them. So I can define something like this, which goes out to all signatories. I can just set it once. And after that, I can click save. Now that I'm happy with how it looks, I click next. This page shows me a preview of how my template is going to look. I'm happy with how it appears, but if I want to, I can also change where these signatures will be displayed. So to quickly show you, I can set custom coordinates. So let's suppose I want the first sign to appear here, which will be me, and I want the borrower signature to appear here. So I can define where this is going to be. I can copy and paste it on all. So in all pages, the same location will be there for the signatures. Now I'm happy with how it looks. I just click save. So here you go. This is my published workflow and it covers this part of the video, which is how to create a workflow. In the third part of the video, I'll be telling you how to run a workflow. There are three ways to run a workflow: dashboard, Excel upload, and API. To run a workflow using dashboard, log into your Leegality dashboard. After that, click on workflow, and here you'll be displayed a list of your existing saved workflows. So if you remember, I had created a workflow called test1 to 3. So I go here and click on use dashboard. So this is how it appears. As you see, all the previous settings have been defined for me. So the service agreement is already there. The stamp paper of Bengal is already there. I cannot change it. However, what your agent can do is define some parameters like document name and internal reference number. So maybe the naming convention in my organization is the date. So I can enter something like this. And maybe you have an internal reference number. So let me just do that. So as you can see, I don't have many options to change. I can only set these. Next I go. Here is my template. It looks good. What your agent can do is define these existing fields. So this is what your agent will have to fill. The next page takes me to the invitees page. As you can see, I had already set myself to be the second signatory. Here I can set the first signatory. So let's suppose I want to send the document to my friend called Aditya. So I can do that. If you notice, I cannot change any settings here. So if I click on more options, I cannot disable anything. That is because once a workflow is created, it uses the same settings each time. So now I click on next. I get a preview of my document here. As you can see, this is how my document looks like with a stamp paper of West Bengal. So this is perfect. My custom coordinates, which I had set earlier, appear fine. So now that I'm happy with how it looks, I just send out an invitation. So now my custom template, which I executed using a workflow through the dashboard, has been sent out. And this is how you use a workflow using the dashboard. So even executing a workflow using the dashboard each time can be tedious. So the way around it is to use a feature we call Excel upload. So what you do is you go to workflow, select the workflow you want to run, and you click on download Excel template. You just go through this, you save it. For the purposes of this video, I have already pre-filled my Excel file. So this is how it looks like. I have the document name, the internal reference number. I have defined each field. And I've also set the signatory names for each time the workflow is to be executed. So one thing to note here is that every row is one document. So every row in this time, let's suppose this time, it's going to be Tabir and me who are going to be signing this document. The next time it's going to be Aditya Patel and me who are going to be signing this document. So using the Excel upload feature, you can batch process your document. So if I have maybe if I have to execute this document 100 times, I can just specify all the 100 configurations in one go, and that's it. And I go and I click on upload. I select my Excel upload file. It's saved as this, and I click on upload. So that's it. My file is being run right now. As you can see, this time it's been executed. And this is how you use the Excel upload feature to run a workflow. The third way to run a workflow is to use the Leegality API. Most recently, we have significantly changed our APIs to make using workflows seamless. You see, in our old API, every API call included each parameter of the signing flow, sometimes leading up to 65 lines of code being sent to configure a single workflow use. We have greatly simplified this in our API 3.0, as you see here. Now the new API is very short. It carries the workflow ID and some details of the variable fields as you have defined them when creating the workflow. So in effect, your workflow is configured using the dashboard and the API is only used to run the workflow. If you want to change your workflow settings, let's say you want to add an invitee or you want to change some signature settings, you can easily make them using the dashboard. Your API call will only carry with it variable fields of the workflow. We made this change for two reasons. First, we noticed that workflows were mainly used by business teams of organizations. So we wanted to give control over configuring workflows to the business or the non-tech users of your organization. This will make it easier for your business teams to make changes in workflow configurations. And as a result, the involvement of your tech team reduces and is only needed at the very end. This greatly reduces the turnaround time. Secondly, we wanted to reduce the complexity of our API code. Now with a simpler API call, there are fewer chances of any mistakes. So there you have it. This was an overview on the need for workflows and how to create and run them. We'll be posting a lot more content on workflows very soon. Do reach out to us at contact@Leegality if you're interested in using our platform. And if you're already a Leegality user, do reach out to our support team for more details. Thank you for your time.